published.
Well, bless the Lord, brothers and sisters. So happy to be back at again. I thank God for you and you tuning in. Listen, maybe I'll do a third video in one day. Why not? Listen, if the Lord leads, I'm going to do it. For some reason, though, I'm not quite sure if you're in a relationship or going to go on a date soon or just dating, thinking about dating. This is going to be a dating video. The subject is going to be just straight up. Listen, 10 things to never do on a first date. Brothers and sisters, when it comes to the dating world these days, it's definitely not like the dating world when my parents' parents were coming up, right? Things are fast paced. Things are straight up, let's, swipe and just go ahead. And it seems like there's no real foundation or substance in things, long term. Hence, a lot of reasons why a lot of people are in predicaments that they are in. Because they just don't take their time. They don't chew the food, they swallow the food, if you would. So without further ado, I'm going to just get right into these videos. I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you learn a lot and see the spiritual ramifications behind each and every video. Listen, I'm not getting kicks on just talking, right? You have to see the spiritual ramification. And that is in each and every video to keep your butt out of hell, huh? If I had to quantify each and all of my videos, that's the premise. That's the goal. This is why I do what I do, to spread the good news and that hell is hot and heaven is what you need to be chasing. Number one. Let's get it started. The first thing that you should never do on the first date, like I said, just the first date, is never be too early. Oh, man. Listen, a lot of y'all got to treat these dates literally like an interview. If you had the mindset that each and every date, especially the first, second, or third, or fifth, or sixth ones at least, right? Because that's when you're really laying some sort of substantial foundation, right? What you put in is what you're going to get out. And if it doesn't work, it's not for you anyway. So, exactly. Number one, never be too early. When you be too early, it shows that you're thirsty, that you're weirdo, that you have nothing else on your agenda, that this is the whole, premise of your life is to be at this one particular date. Now, whether they charmed you or whether you saw a picture, right, or something in their bio that just caught your eye, you still don't want to appear thirsty or desperate or needy. So number one, never be too early and always be on time though, right? You never want to be disrespectful. You never want to seem that you are the cat's meow, if you would. Be on time. Show respect. Show that you have experience and respect for the person opposite you, right? Never be too early. Number two. Oh, man. You ready for this one? Don't be too overly familiar with the person, right? Like assuming you knowing them. You see their picture, already you know all about them. No. Just because you see a person's looks or face chiseled a certain way, their body a certain way, never really assume that you know the person's insides and outsides, right? Don't be overly assuming that you know the person, and don't be overly relaxed. Okay, you want to be confident, you want to be relaxed to a certain degree, but you don't want to be overly relaxed while you're basically finishing the person's sentences. That's rude. Or assuming they meant this, but they really meant that. Give the other person a chance to explain themselves. Again, if you look at all of your dates, especially the first to like maybe the 10th date, like an interview of sorts, right? You're vetting them out. You're making sure that they're the right fit, if you would. Look at it as an interview, because you have to get to know the person. You have to listen. This person is literally going to potentially take up a substantial amount of your time. A lot of you out there have children already, are in, some of them, desperate situations. This person that you swipe left and you saw is going to be your person. And that's the next one. The second one, again, was don't be too overly familiar, assuming you know the person too quickly, you know their OMO. You really don't know anything about them but their physical image on a screen. That's what you know. Okay? You are not in a date with a family members or a friend yet. You are actually on a date with a stranger. I want to put that out there. Because a lot of you, and I'm still on number two, relax, we're still on number two. You have to realize, brothers and sisters, that you really do not know that person. So don't be too overly familiar. Treat them like you're going on an interview. When you go on an interview, aren't you early, but not too early? Aren't you always on time? That's number one, check. All right? Don't be too overly familiar, acting like you know the job and you could do the job and this, that, and that. Huh? That's number two. Why? Because you have to realize, again, this is an interview. You are vetting the person out. A lot of you out there are picking out wedding suits, huh? Looking at wedding magazines and books and stuff. This could be Jack the Ripper, huh? Across from you have not known? Well, let's go to number three. Don't be too overly serious, though, or accusatory or stiff on the first date. Huh? Have fun. Enjoy the experience. Listen, enjoy the ambiance. You have nothing to say. At least if the person takes you to a nice place, you have conversation. The ambiance is a conversation. The food is a conversation. The way the person looks, that could be a conversation of, hi, you look really nice today. Or you smell really nice today. That's a conversation, right? But just don't be too serious or accusatory. Because once you be accusatory, you're going to judge this person across from you and say, yeah, they're just like everybody else. They're just like everybody else. And I'm going to go back to the job situation. If you go on an interview and you have the ideology that this job is just like any other job, it's just like any other situation I've been in, how do you think it's going to turn out? How do you think they're going to view you? Number four, don't tell your whole life story on the first date. Please stop it. Don't tell your whole life story or dating experiences even on the first date. What are you doing? In full detail. Just generalize. You could generalize, be honest. From 1 to 3, be honest. Be honest about the whole date, because at least you could say you were honest. You were not, lying about anything. But just, generalize. You don't have to get, well, I was with the guy and he busted my eye. And I'm just, what I'm saying, I don't know who to trust. And I'm a nice person. But I just be with losers all the... What? Well, you be with losers all the time? Really? And they be beating you up all the time? Really? Well, that tells a lot about you, doesn't it? That you keep picking, listen, you keep picking those type. It says a whole lot about your standards, doesn't it? Next. Hope you're learning something. And I'm going to go back to the one I just talked about. You with losers, you with jobs that's dead ends. It shows a lot about your standards and what you go for. Next. Never forget to get in the habit to ask the right questions at the right time. When you go to a dinner date and the person says hello, and you say hello, and you sit down and ready for your food, don't start rambling about what's the benefit of dating you? Why is this opportunity open? What is the most challenging thing? Like I said, it's an interview, but don't make it seem as if you're attacking the person and you just sat down. Let stuff flow. Let stuff be organic. You could say a joke, but just, ask a question here and there. Say a joke, get some laughs in, and ask a little half of a question there. You get your questions answered, excuse me. But just relax. You don't want to, like I said, put a person off. What are your goals and intentions? It's the first date. My goals and intentions is to get through this date. How about that? What do you mean, what are your goals and intentions? It's just the first date. Your first date is just talking about ambiance and getting to know and just seeing if you could be compatible to sitting with each other for about a good half an hour to an hour. How about that? Stop grilling the person on the first date too much. Next, never assume that the other person is going to pay the whole bill. Never assume that. They think that you going Dutch, you paying half, he paying half, or you paying the whole bill. Just have enough for you and for him. And if he pays the whole bill, great. But you're not looking crazy. You just know that listen, you're swiping not to his direction ever again. But always be prepared. Always have your money on deck. Always have your money in your pocket, right? Dust off that Benjamin and bring it with you anyway, just to be prepared, right? Just in case it goes left, you go right. Next, never expect this person to be your person. The first date. Yo, man, she looked good. She was banging. You know what I'm saying? She got a job. You know what I'm saying? She's thick and she seemed like wifey material. You just saw her picture, dude. How do you know if she's not a Satanist? How do you know if she's not, reading horoscopes and, doing crystals and sage and all of that witchcraft, new age crap, yoga and all of that psycho nuts stuff? You don't know nothing about her yet. But that's your person, right? On the first date, you just summed it right up. So again, never expect this person to be your person, because that way you'll always guard your heart. The next one. Definitely never fornicate on the first date or the second date or the third date or any dates. I'll leave it at that. All right? You ready to get in a person's pants on the first date. Slow it down. That says a lot about you, brothers and sisters. It really does. Because if you giving it up to this person, you better believe that they're going to know you could give it up to their cousin, their brother, their auntie, their neighbor, their anybody else, whoever. Don't be so easy. Relax. Again, this may not even be your person. The next one. Never believe each and everything they say on the first date. Never. They are literally a representative of the person. They're not the true person. They're trying to get through the hour date. They're trying to get through it so that they don't feel uncomfortable and you don't feel uncomfortable. So 9 times out of 10, they're saying things that are not 1000% true. Never believe each and everything they say on the first date. Wake up, brothers and sisters. I'm sure they used a little filter. I'm sure that they was not 100% forthcoming with stuff in their bio. Wake up. Never believe, again, each and everything they say on the first date. Next one. Never expect a second date. Oh, man. Never expect a second date. What you talking about, Samantha? I look good. I made sure my weave was tight. You know what I'm saying? My breath was right. I made sure I lost about 5 pounds before I saw him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So what? Do you know how many other women that he saw that he's going to be on a date with tomorrow? Don't expect another date. Just do your best on that interview. Just like the job. You go on an interview. Do you expect to get the job? Some do. Some are that confident, say, yo, this is my job. This is my job. This is the problem with that. This is the problem with that. It's okay to be confident when you go on an interview and say, this is mine. But if you hadn't prayed for that job, if God didn't give you the green light, you could be working somebody else's job. You could be working somebody else's relationship that's not yours, right? You can want it and know it's yours or whatever, and you can get it all right. You can get it all right 10 years later You ready to, you know what I'm saying? Put the bullets in the chamber, so to speak. I think I'm going to give you one extra one, brothers and sisters. Just, I'm not sure if it was 10, but I'm going to give you an extra one. Why are you going on the date in the first place? Ask yourself that. Why? What's the reason? Is it because your friends are going on dates? Is it because you're up in age and you feel it's the best thing to do? Huh? Are you feeling you feel a little lonely? You just need some, stimulation, conversation. What are your intentions? If you find out what your intentions are, all right, things will get a little bit clearer. Because once you know what your intentions are, right, things will work out better. Because then you know what your motives are. When you know what your motives are, then you know how you're really playing the game, why you're playing the game, and if you're a victim or a scammer. Brothers and sisters, I hope this blessed you. If you had to sum up everything I said in terms of the 10 things, I would say again, treat it like an interview. Bless the true and living God.